Salute, 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 y'all. It's morning time over here. I just woke up. It's 4:24 a.m. in the morning. Bonjour, prof. Bonjour, mon frère. Mbote, mbote na yo. Matondo mingi. Matondo. Yeah. So, guys, I am so excited, man. I am so excited in Geta. Yesterday, man, I'm gonna play the video, the things we've been talking about, to see a scientific in the dead show presentation, basically acknowledging indirectly. He said, you know, the Muzungu, the whitey, will not basically give you flowers in your face. Muzungu does not do that. Even though Muzungu takes something that belongs to you, the knowledge that you possess, Muzungu takes it and gets something out of it. Muzungu is not going to come in and thank you for the information. No, 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 no. That's what happened here with African spirituality, which I call African science. The man I'm going to show you in the video, his name is Ron Eglash. His name is Ron Eglash. Did you guys know he got initiated by the Bambara priest? And it was around the year computer exploded. I will show you the dates. Damn. I'm gonna show you the dates because I was paying attention. Like, it was around the time this man got initiated by the Dogon. Not by the Dogon, by the Bamana. The Bamana. So what I'm about to show is about the Bamana code. It's called the Bamana code. And we are told that computer science, right, comes from the Bamana code. What is the Bamana code? The Bamana code is the Ifa code. And I will show you. Today's live is going to be fire. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Make sure you get your coffee or whatever, right? You need to be aware. You need to be awake, right? No alcohol. No, you know, only coffee, water, and fruit is allowed. Because you need your stomach to be lighter so you can pay attention, so you can listen, right? Now, that's one thing with me, right? Whenever I eat, number one, I don't drink alcohol. Alcohol is going to mess up your train of thought. It's going to make you be lazy in how you think, right? I have experimented. It's been 4 years. I have not touched alcohol, right? The less alcohol you consume, the better off you are. Trust me, bro. I've been there, right? I used to drink alcohol, not in the way, you know, to go crazy or whatsoever. Even a small quantity is not good for you. Wine, liquor, called spirit, spirits. You see, liquor is called spirits. So when you drink it, you basically inviting or some sort of egregore or artificial form of energy that come and fix themselves in your body. They're artificial, but they manifest through alcohol, right? So let me go to my Telegram. we're gonna pull up the videos, right? We're gonna play it from the Telegram here because we don't want to be flagged. And I think it's gonna be only 3 minutes. It's gonna only be 3 minutes, but I want you to pay attention to the 3 minutes. It's gonna be very important, right? We need to pay attention here. 3 minutes. Right? So it's gonna be around here. Come on, guys. You see, in the group chat, we are talking about serious stuff. Someone posts the Oreo and says that it looked like a divination tray. I don't like stuff like this. No, to be serious, even if you were joking, I don't like that. We don't joke with African stuff, bro. You know? And again, this is a black person in the group joking, right? I'm not giving you names if you are listening, so don't be mad. But this is how it's going to go forward. You know, people trying to be funny, right? It's not funny, right? To post an Oreo and say, speaking of divination tray, I can unsee it now. No, don't do that next time. Don't do that next time. I'm not playing. I'm not in the group. I don't have that group to play around, to joke. We are learning. After we have been posting things like this, instead of brainstorming or paying attention, someone posts an Oreo in the mix, right? I'm asking here. I wrote a message over here. Guys, you must watch this video from minute 11 to minute 15. Someone respond with an Oreo, and he says that speaking of divination tray, I can unsee it now. It's not funny, y'all. Don't do that again. I'm not playing, right? And don't play with African stuff. And you are supposed to be African. This is the mentality of the Buzungu, right? This is how the Buzungu plays around a joke. No, don't do that again. This is the last warning, right? I'm not playing. We are there to learn. We want to learn. We don't have time to play. Time is running out, right? So, and shout out, thank you to Yankam, right? Yankam posted the video. I knew about the Bamana code, right? But I never knew about this video here, right? I never knew about the video, right? Damn. I didn't want these people to see the logo. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Give me 30 seconds. All right. I'm back. Got so I need only three of your minute, right? 3 or 4, right? Minute 11, right? Minute. So this is the type of stuff we love in the group. We want people in mind in the group to be oriented towards ancestral knowledge, right? What you have on the screen there is what we call fractal. Fractal is a mathematical model that follows specific mathematical equation. Our ancestors were building villages and towns based on specific pattern, and they were following and mimicking what they saw in the sky. They were replicating above to below. They were following specific pattern in order to be in harmony with what was above. They knew how to capture and how to harness specific waves, cosmic wave, energy from the universe. And today, if you did not know, Google, the Google search engine, is based and is using this sort of intelligence, right? Is built into Google search. You're gonna watch and listen yourself in the video from a professional. Grand Rising, everyone. Grand Rising. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to the live. Now, Grand Rising Yanka, I see you joined the live. Thank you for sharing the video. I knew about the Bamana code, but I never knew about that video. That video is just fire, bro. Right? So now the video can be found on I think on YouTube, on the TED, www.ted.com, TED Show, if you heard about the TED Show. And the link to join the Telegram is in my profile, in my TikTok profile, right? You're gonna find the link to join the Telegram. Let me pause here first. Then once you're there, you're gonna see in the history, the historical chat, you're gonna see the link for the video, or you can ask again for the link of the video. We're gonna repost it. No problem. I don't want to open this video in the YouTube browser. Let me see here. All right, it's taking me to the YouTube. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna fast forward. 77. I'm gonna fast forward to minute 11. It's gonna be 4 minutes only, right? Minute 11. Maybe I can take it a little back. We're gonna start here. We're gonna start at 10:30. So the material start at, right, at 11. But I start at 10:30 to 15. All right. So just pay attention, right? If you want to take notes, and then you know, you can come up with.
The stronger the wind blows, right? It's just like a cost-benefit analysis, and I measured out the lengths of straw, put it on a log plot, got the scaling exponent, and it almost exactly matches the scaling exponent for the relationship between wind speed and height in the wind engineering handbook. So these guys are right on target for a practical use of scaling technology. The most complex example
it's coming.
An algorithmic approach.
There you go. Pay attention here.
Geometry was in a symbolic code, and this was Bamana sand divination. And the same divination system is found all over Africa. You can find it on the East Coast as well as the West Coast, and often the symbols are very well preserved. So each of these symbols has 4 bits. It's a 4-bit binary word. You draw these lines in the sand randomly. And then you count off, and if it's an odd number, you put down 1 stroke, and if it's an even number, you put down 2 stroke. And they did this very rapidly, and I couldn't understand where they were getting, they only did the randomness 4 times. I couldn't understand where they were getting the other 12 symbols. And they wouldn't tell me. They said, no, I can't tell you about this. I said, well, look, I'll pay you. You can be my teacher, and I'll come each day and pay you. I said, it's not a matter of money.
You hear this? I will pay you. Show me the other 12 sign and I will pay you. You can become a teacher and I can come sometimes and give you something. This is typical of the Muzungu. They are ready to do anything they can to get the information. And this man ended up being initiated into the Bamana divination system. And he has written a huge amount of documentation on computer process, algorithm, you know, and he has been successful into doing what he did after the initiation. We as black people should be the one doing this. I'm sorry, but hey, we should be the one learning. We are in the better position, learning from what our ancestors have done in order to do amazing things for us today. But we are waiting for Muzungu to bring us the new invention or the new technology. We are too damn busy on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram, you know, talking about the things that are not going to take us nowhere. There are type of debate and exchange that is not going to bring any benefit to people, to be honest. I'm sorry. One example is on the Black American side. For the past 3 years, Africa has been on the topic. If you see a so-called black Indian American live, they don't have Africa on the screen. You know, nobody will show up to that live. They must have Africa on the screen, or maybe a village in Africa where people are drinking water, or people are washing their face under the cow legs. You know, all kind of funny stuff, right? And for people to have views, basically they have to have Africa. They have to talk down and bad about Africa. We should be doing with what this man has been doing, and it's not late. It's not too late, right? It's never too late. So let's continue here.
Money, this is a religious matter. And finally, out of desperation, I said, well, let me explain George Cantor in 1877. And I started explaining, why I was there in Africa. And I got very excited.
I have
when I saw the Cantor
I have to play with TikTok, guys. Sorry.
One of them said, come here, this guy can help me out here. And so he took me through the initiation ritual for a Bamana priest. And of course, I was only interested in the math, so the whole time he kept shaking his head, going, I didn't learn it this way. But I had to sleep with a cola nut next to my bed, buried in sand, and give 7 coins to 7 lepers, and so on.
7 coins, 7 leopards. And he took it because he wanted to know. He wanted to know the secret of the 12 remaining signs. He was ready to do whatever. You see that? When people need seeing, are looking for something in life, they are ready to sacrifice to get it. This man was ready to do whatever. And after his initiation, you should just see.
And finally, he revealed the truth of the matter. And it turns out it's a pseudo-random number generator. They're using deterministic chaos. When you have a 4-bit symbol,
deterministic chaos. Ho, ho, ho. The ancestor knew what it's called in science, deterministic chaos. Oh, guys, I don't know, man. Sometimes I'm just like, I don't know. It's called deterministic chaos. Right? Let's go.
You then put it together with another one sideways. So even plus odd gives you odd. Odd plus even gives you odd. Even plus even gives you even. Odd plus odd gives you even.
Okay, so what he's just explained there, right? It's the same principle we have been doing for the past, the past, 3 months, 4 months. Every time we've been speaking of IFA, and we drop videos on IFA. And the most views on all of my video is IFA. 193 and 94,000 views, more than 20,000 likes. That's how powerful IFA is, right? So what did he explain there? You see, double bar is even, single bar is odd, 2 is even, 1 is odd. So when you put even and odd together, the first row, even, odd, you get what? You always get odd. Add 2 plus 1, 3. Add 2 plus 5, 7. So whenever you add 2, 1 odd number and 1 even number, 1 even number and 1 odd number, you always get an odd number. When you add 1 odd number and 1 even number, right, you also always get, right, odd number. 2 plus 2, 2 plus 3, 5, 2 plus 5, 2 plus 5, 7, 2 plus 7, right, 2 plus 4, 2 plus 7, 2 plus 9, and so on. But here we are dealing with odd and even, right? Whenever you add odd and even and odd, you always get odd. Whenever you add, right, odd with even, you always get odd. What the ancestor knew right there, and they were doing, It's basically computer science already. Even and even, you get even. Yes, if you do 2 plus 2, 2 plus 4, 2 plus 6, 2 plus 8, whenever you add two even number, you get an even number. Whenever you add two odd number, you always get an even number. 1 and 1, right? Odd and odd gives you even. Right?
It's addition modulo 2, just like in the parity bit check on your computer. And then you take this symbol and you put it back in. So it's a
parity check. Parity check.
Self-generating diversity.
Self-generating diversity. Wow.
Of symbols. They're truly using a kind of deterministic chaos in doing this. Now, because it's a binary code, you can actually implement this in hardware. What a fantastic...
Oh, you can now implement this in hardware. I'm playing with TikTok so we don't get
fantastic teaching tool that should be in African engineering schools. And the most interesting thing I found out about it was historical. In the 12th century, Hugo of Santillana brought it from Islamic mystics into Spain. And there it entered into the alchemy community as geomancy, the divination through the earth. This is a geomantic chart drawn by for King Richard II in 1390. Leibniz, the German mathematician, talked about geomancy in his dissertation called De Combinatoria. And he said, well, instead of using one stroke and two strokes, let's use a 1 and a 0. And we can count by powers of 2, right? Ones and zeros.
You heard it right. Instead of using 1 stroke and 2 stroke, we can just use 1 and 0. And then that's all. That's the only conversion you need to do. Just turn the single stroke and the double stroke into 1 and 0. The double stroke being right, being what? What is the parity of the double stroke? Right? It is even. The double stroke is even. That will be the 0. And the single stroke is odd. That will be the 1. Wow.
De Combinatoria. And he said, well, instead of using 1 stroke and 2 strokes, let's use a 1 and a 0. And we can count by powers of 2. Right? Ones and zeros, the binary code. George Boole took Leibniz's binary code and created Boolean algebra, and John von Neumann took Boolean algebra and created the digital computer.
Digital computer comes from what? They just converted, they took the principle, they converted the single stroke into a 1, the double stroke into the 0, and then they basically extracted the complex, and it gave birth to digital computers. So we are not making false claim when we are saying, we've been saying that ether, and we're going to add to it the Bamana code. Yes, the Bamana code must be added, right? So it is clear, clean, evident. The code also in the southern part of Africa, right? Also, we already discovered about it. It was also known before digital computers. It also played a role into digital computers. So basically, the whole continent, from West, Central, Southern to East Africa, we knew, and people knew about the divination, in parentheses, right? Divination system is supposed to be the scientific, right, system in Africa, the computational African process of deterministic chaos. Wow, they use the term deterministic chaos. Let's go.
So all these little PDAs and laptops, every digital circuit in the world started in Africa.
I'm gonna put this section here in one of the video I will generate, right? Let me make note of the minute. This is a minute 13:39. right? Minute 13:39 is gonna be part of the video, right? And this man, let's listen again. Let's listen again, y'all.
Created the digital computer. So all these little PDAs and laptops, every digital circuit in the world started in Africa. And I know Brian Eno says there's not enough African computers, but I don't think there's enough African history in Brian Eno.
You're not a child, you're a man. So stop wearing so many layers to go outside. You get the bearskin
commercial time
4.0, the 10 pocket.
So let me end with just a few words about applications that we've found for this. And you can go to our website. The applets are all free. They just run in the browser. Anybody in the world can use them. The National Science Foundation's Broadening Participation in Computing program recently awarded.
This man has already implemented a browser based on the material he got from the initiation process with the Bamana, right? And then you go
There's a grant to make a programmable version of these design tools. So hopefully in 3 years, anybody will be able to go on the web and create their own simulations of their own artifacts. But we focused in the U.S.
It's already out, and we are currently using this today, but not knowing, because we did not have the information from this man, right? They have added a capability to the browsers and all of that, the research mechanism based on Bamana code, African tradition and spirituality. You see, they call it African spirituality, but it's not a spirituality the way they're trying to to tag it. It is a science. It is a form of science in the African paradigm. Science is not just science in the Western fashion, right? Because they tend to say, well, if you don't do science in our way, then it's not science. No, right?
On African American students as well as Native American and Latino. We found statistically significant improvement with children using this software in their mathematics class in comparison with a control group that did not have the software.
They generated a piece of software. The control group did not have it, and the kids who were using that software were performing better and quicker, faster, more efficient than the control group, right? And we're gonna come listen to this part, y'all, because you see, our sister, our mama, they had patterns they did in their hair, the hairstyle. And in Africa, you find the most hair pattern, shape, and style in Africa, nowhere else, right? And those hairstyle basically are fractals. Yes, our sister, mother, right, are basically shaping the hairstyle to follow specific pattern called fractal. Fractal follow a specific mathematical equation, and fractals is the makeup of all the shape. When you look up in the sky, when you look up around you, a tree, a leaf, a flower, right? They follow specific fractals, mathematical shapes. So our mama doing this, right, or our sisters are basically in harmony with the form of energy that manifests through the shaping of this. And they knew which form of energy in the cosmos followed this pattern, and they will do that on top of their hair. It could be fertile, something that has to do with fertility, protection, right, wisdom, and things like that. So they will do that on their head. But today it's almost lost. People don't know, and then they don't understand what they are doing on their, when they specifically implement a hairstyle on the head. But it has a deep meaning, right? So our ancestor never did anything randomly, and they want to tag the Bamana send divination and Ifa divination has run random, right? But we're gonna learn more about it, and we're going to show that it is not pseudo-random. It appears and it seems to be pseudo or maybe random, but it is not, right? That's what I was trying to explain the day before yesterday. It may sound, it may look to be random, but there is a law, right, called deterministic chaos behind it. Let's move on in the video.
So it's really very successful teaching children that they have a heritage that's about mathematics, that it's not just about singing and dancing. We've started a pilot program in Ghana. We got a small seed grant just to see if folks would be willing to work with us on this. We're very excited about the future possibilities for that. We've also been working in design. I didn't put his name up here. My colleague Carrie in Kenya has come up with this great idea for using fractal structure for postal address in villages that have fractal structures. Because if you try to impose a grid structure postal system on a fractal village, it doesn't quite fit. Bernard Chumi at Columbia University has been interested in using this in a design for a Museum of African Art. David Hughes at Ohio State University has written a primer on Afrocentric architecture in which he's used some of these fractal structures. And finally, I just wanted to point out that this idea of self-organization, as we heard earlier, it's in the brain. It's in
the idea of self-organization. This is a village. This is the bird eye view in an African village. The idea of self-organization is in the brain. And they incorporated, and they are trying to incorporate the idea of self-organization. That's what they're looking for in AI. Once they have the formula of self-organization, meaning something that can self-organize itself without the interaction and the need of any exogenous, right, input. Exogenous meaning outside input, right? An input that does not depend of the inner part.
It's in Google search engine. Actually, the reason Google was such a success is because they were the first ones to take advantage of the self-organizing properties of the...
Bam, we heard it. We heard it. It is in Google search. What's the minute? So earlier we mentioned minute 13:39. Now we have 15:49, right? 15:49. Hold on. Let me get a pencil. I need to put that on paper. So I'm going to replay that to those specific spot. And then we got you, man. I can just type it in my, hold on. Let me just type it in my, so, right? So we have 13:39. Now we have 15. Right. We have 1550. Yeah, we can do 1550.
It's in ecological sustainability, it's in the developmental power of entrepreneurship, the ethical power of democracy. It's also in some bad things. Self-organization is why the AIDS virus is spreading so fast. And if you don't think that capitalism, which is self-organizing, can have destructive effects, you haven't opened your eyes enough. So we need to think about, as was spoken earlier, the traditional African methods for doing self-organization. These are robust algorithms. These are ways of doing self-organization, of doing entrepreneurship that are gentle, that are egalitarian. So if we want to find a better way of doing that kind of work, we need to look only no farther than Africa to find these robust self-organizing algorithms. Thank you.
Oh, so we're gonna bring some highlights, right? Before we get into the documents. I downloaded some pretty good document yesterday, and the material explained in the video, we are going to step by step break it down, right, in a little bit. So let's do this. We're gonna, so let me just quickly, so 1550, right? Now let's go to this video here. So we're gonna go back to 13, right? 1339 quickly. You're gonna hear it.
So let me end with just a few words about applications that we've found for this. And you can go to our website. The applets are all free. They just run in the browser. Anybody in the world can use them. The National Science Foundation's Broadening Participation in Computing program recently awarded us a grant to make a programmable version of these design tools. So hopefully in 3 years, anybody will be able to go on the web and create their own simulations of their own artifacts. We focused in the U.S. on African American students as well as Native American and Latino. We found statistically significant improvement with children using this. There's not enough.
Most people have no clue that in 2024, the best way to make money with Amazon is not by selling physical
African computers, but I don't think there's enough African history, Brian. So all these little PDAs and laptops.
Yeah, there you go.
Right, ones and zeros, the binary code. George Boole took Leibniz's binary code and created Boolean algebra, and John von Neumann took Boolean algebra and created the digital computer.
So let's just play it. Yeah,
so all these little PDAs and laptops, every digital circuit in the world started in Africa. And I know, Brian.
You heard it? Every single PDA, digital computer, whatever electronic, started in Africa. But you're gonna see some African people on TikTok and also in the comment of some of my video. African people, black people, are the one who will come to you first and say, what has Ifa done? What has all of this done? Sometimes I don't even have the time to, to answer some of the question of y'all, because you can feel in the person reaction that no matter what you say, it's going to be basically a waste of time, right? Some people will not even pay attention and look to the facts, right? After asking a question, right? I have a lot of that in my videos, so I just move on, right?
Brian says there's not enough African computers, but I don't think there's enough African history, Brian.
Right. So that was minute. Let me make a correction here.
Two strokes, let's use a 1 and a 0. And we can count by powers of 2. Right? Ones and zeros, the binary code. George Boole took Leibniz's binary code and created Boolean algebra, and John von Neumann took Boolean algebra and created the digital computer. So all these little PDAs and laptops, every digital circuit in the world started in Africa. And I know Brian says there's not enough African computers, but I don't think there's enough African history, Brian.
There you go.
So let me end with just a few words about applications that we've found for this. And you can go to our website. The applets are all free. They just run in the browser. Anybody in the world can use them. The National Science Foundation's Broadening Participation in Computing program recently awarded us a grant to make a programmable version of these design tools. So hopefully in 3 years, anybody will be able to go on the web and create their own simulations of their own artifacts. We focused in the U.S. on African American students as well as Native American and Latino. We found statistically significant improvement with children using this software in the mathematics class in comparison with a control group that did not have the software. So it's really very successful teaching children that they have a heritage that's about mathematics, that it's not just about singing and dancing.
You heard that? They have a heritage that is not about singing and dancing. but about mathematics. These are the things we need to teach. We need to let the younger one know their heritage is not just singing and dancing. It is also about mathematics. This man, he got initiated by the Bamana. What he saw and what he learned blew his mind. He has a different perspective. When you hear him talk, you still see that Muzungu behavior. But he has changed his view and the perspective towards Africa, right? It changed him a lot. And what we do here on TikTok is hopefully, some Muzungu will listen and have a different view on who black people are. Our heritage is not about singing and dancing, right? It's also about computer, science, mathematics, because our ancestors done that, right? In a whole lot level, right? Higher level. So the next section is at 1550. Right, let's play it.
Fractal structures. And finally, I just wanted to point out that this idea of self-organization, as we heard earlier, it's in the brain. It's in it's in Google search engine.
It is in Google search engine. Oh. So I've been saying this, but I think, for some, it was just like, Potolo again with, with another round of this and that. But sometimes people needs to hear it from the Muzungu. Yeah, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, in the black community, people will basically pay more attention and give credit to what the Muzungu is saying. But when a brother is doing a little research and brings the information out, they're going to be asking you a bunch of nonsense questions. Unfortunately, that's how it is, right? So
actually, the reason Google was such a success is because they were the first ones to take advantage of the self-organizing properties of the web. It's in ecological sustainability, it's in the developmental power of entrepreneurship, the ethical power of democracy. It's also in some bad things. Self-organization is why the AIDS virus is spreading so fast. And if you don't think that capitalism, which is self-organizing, can have destructive effects, you haven't opened your eyes enough. So we need to think about, as was spoken earlier, the traditional African methods for doing self-organization. These are robust algorithms.
All right. So it looks like TikTok. Yeah, TikTok sent me a message, y'all. So I'm gonna restart. Let me just restart this, right? I don't need